More U.S. companies charging employees for job training if they quit. I'm going to tell you all, I'm slightly torn on this one. So YouTube chat room, these are our live commenters. We'll see what you say. Alex, I'm torn. We'll get to that in a moment. When a Washington State beauty salon charged Simran Ball $1,900 for training after she quit, she was shocked. I guess so. Hey, I'm leaving. Here's my 2 weeks notice. Okay, hold still. Be right back. They come up with a $1,900 bill. You know, all that training we did for you on how to shampoo Ken's hair? We'd like $1,900 back. By the way, I make no bones about it. I go to a very nice salon, and I get the shampoo and condition. Oh, yeah. It's about 8 to 9 minutes before I ever start getting a cut. I'm like a human piece of licorice before I ever get cut. It's fantastic. Guys, if you're afraid of it, there's nothing to be ashamed of. What dude doesn't like his scalp rubbed? It's fantastic. Make no bones about it. Love it. Not only was Ball a licensed esthetician with no need for the instruction, she argued that the trainings were specific to the shop and low quality. Her story mirrors that of dozens of people and advocates in healthcare, trucking, retail, and other industries who complained recently to U.S. regulators that some companies are charging employees large sums of money for the training that they received. In a 2020 survey by the Cornell Survey Research Institute, they found that nearly 10% of American workers were covered by a training repayment agreement. I was surprised at that. I mean, 10% of American workers is a lot of people who are under a contract that if they were to leave before a certain amount of time, they have to reimburse the company for their training. Not a new concept at all. I've had calls where people are going, Ken, what do I do? I'm under a contract. And I've advised people on those situations. So not a new idea. But critics are calling this, and Alex, I love this. They're calling this, whatever you want to, this form of charging people, training repayment agreement provisions. In other words, did you see what happened there? Traps. Little acronym there. Training repayment agreement provisions. It's in your contract. Isn't that fun? So you got a trap in your contract. It's very clever. Traps have been around in a small way since the late 80s. As I said, not a new thing. But in recent years, they've become more widespread. And those agreements have traditionally, when they first started, it was more of a white-collar type situation. Now it is moving into your hourly workers and in the trades. And so this is where it's become a little bit of a rub, where it's kind of the working man and woman, and it's lower pay. And so they're going, wait a second, why should someone who's in a lower paying job have to have this provision? Now it's come down to, you guessed it, my friends in the union. If you're new to the show, I don't like unions. Stay tuned. The International Brotherhood of Teamsters said in comments that training repayment demands were particularly egregious in commercial trucking. They said firms like CRST and CR England train people for a commercial driver's license but charge more than $6,000 if they leave the company before a certain time. The American Trucking Association argues that the license is portable from one employer to another. And it said, please don't characterize this as employer-driven debt. All right. So this is very interesting. And I had to think long and hard about this because I am a man of the people, by the people, for the people. However, I'm a capitalist. And I think it bears conversation. It bears being looked at. But I understand a company saying, look, I'm going to invest thousands of dollars in you. I don't want you to turn around and leave me 6 months later. I don't think that's egregious. I really don't. But I do think that the terms and how long and that type of thing, I think that bears looking at. You know, how long are we talking about here? Because you start getting to 2 years and 3 years and stuff like that. And it's like, if this is the only way you can hold people in, then you got something wrong. And that's what's going on underneath of this. This is a direct result. The spread of these traps is a direct response that companies are having from the Great Resignation, where we still have 4+ million people leaving jobs every month. And they're going, we got to keep people, and I'm going to train you, but I'm going to hold you.